found myself in the city near Piccadilly. Don't really know how I got here. I got some pictures on my phone, new names and numbers that I don't know. Address to places like Abbey Road, day turns to night, night turns to whatever we want. We're young enough to say, oh, this has gotta be a good life. This has gotta be a good life. This could really be a good life, good life. I say, oh, this feeling that you can't fight. The city is on fire tonight. This could really be a good life, a good, good life. To my friends in New York, I say hello, my friends. Woke up in London yesterday, found myself in the city near Piccadilly. Don't really know how I got here. I got some pictures on my phone, new names and numbers that I don't know. Address to places like Abbey Road, day turns to night, night turns to whatever we want. We're young enough to say, oh, this has gotta be a good life. This has gotta be a good life. This could really be a good life, good life. I say, oh, this feeling that you can't fight. The city is on fire tonight. This could really be a good life, a good, good life. To my friends in New York, I say hello, my friends. Woke up in London yesterday, found myself in the city near Piccadilly. Don't really know how I got here. I got some pictures on my phone, new names and numbers that I don't know. Address to places like Abbey Road, day turns to night, night turns to whatever we want. We're young enough to say, oh, this has gotta be a good life. This has gotta be a good life. This could really be a good life, good life. I say, oh, this feeling that you can't fight. The city is on fire tonight. This could really be a good life, a good, good life. To my friends in New York, I say hello, my friends.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to another edition of my live session. Welcome to tonight's session, which is tagged Karma is a Page Virtual Launch Recap. And this is my first Facebook Live since Friday's book launch, and I'm really excited and happy to have you here with me tonight. Let me know where you're joining in from. Let me know where you're coming in from in the comment section. And as you type, your comment is going to appear on the screen so that others can equally see where you're coming from. For example, my name is Pagidi and I'm from Lagos. So I will just type in the comment section that Pagidi from Lagos and it's going to appear on the screen. So please let me know where you're joining from. Say something so that I will know that I'm not alone in tonight's session. And I need to quickly say something. I don't like what Arsenal did today. I honestly didn't like what Arsenal did today because I've been rooting for them. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I've been rooting for them to win the Premier League. At least let them try to win something for the first time in 19th centuries or 19 years ago. But at the end of the day, they didn't win. In fact, they collected 3-0. And Man City, who was not even in the conversation, is going to come and win the league here again. And in La Liga Barcelona, I mean, this is not sports show, but a lot of sports events are happening today in the Sunday. So that's why I just had to really talk about that. So Barcelona also, they are on their way to winning their yeah, their first La Liga title in service era. Yeah. So for the rule of engagement tonight, please turn on the caption on from your end of the screen so as to get the subtitle or transcription of everything that I will say here tonight. The purpose of this live session, like I said, is to give a recap of what we talked about on Friday, share key points from various speakers, give insight into what my writing journey has been so far, explaining what theory society is all about for those who still don't know about the book. So the recap aims at providing readers, loyal fans or attendees who couldn't participate in the virtual launch session on Friday with a sense of what transpired and the overall event of the show. I'll be providing insight onto the creation of theory society. I'll be providing the inspiration behind it and key themes in the book. I'll equally be running through the 5 books. Yes, I'll be running through the 5 books tonight and reading excerpts from selected parts where possible and showcasing illustrations from the book. Now, towards the end of the session, or in the course of the session, I'll be giving out important info like where the links um, can be accessed for the readers and where you can purchase the copies of Dare Society, how to get Dare Society shirts like this one. This is Dare Society one, which is, you can see here on the screen, where the society becomes the healing you need. So for each of the books, we had a shirt, or we have a shirt for. So book one, there is where society becomes the healing you need. Book two, sometimes death becomes the only option. We have a book for that too. Beginning, we don't have a book for. Okay, yeah, we have a shirt for book three too. Mental health, emotional crisis, and sorry, I'm coming. Give me a moment. So show something. Okay, yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so towards the end of the session, or in the course of it, I'll be giving out important info like links for where to get the shirts, bank details, amongst other things. There will be also question and answer sessions as the online audience for tonight. You have the opportunity of asking me questions. You have the opportunity of asking me things, just talking about, let's talk about things concerning terrorist society. The questions can be submitted in advance or through the comment section. Just post your comments, your questions in the comment section, and I'm going to be answering your questions, providing further insight and engaging with you as we proceed. We'll be having thoughtful and engaging conversations in the comment section as we proceed in this conversation tonight. You can also share your thoughts, opinion, or personal experiences as we interact in real time. Let us know where you are equally picking up and learning as the session unfolds. I'll be delighted to hear from you. Also, please read the banner that is rolling on your screen. Like, for example, what is currently showing is Karma is a Bridge virtual book launch recap, the final curtain. So, as you're seeing this, other info will be rolling along. So, please just have a close look at it because in the course of the recap we'll be having tonight, one or maybe two or three or all five of my terrorist suicide books will be going for a ridiculously slashed fee tonight. So stay alert and be sure not to miss out of this bumper offer because if you snooze, you lose. So my name is Pagida and I'm delighted to be your host for tonight once again. So who is Pagidi? Pagidi, I'm a lawyer by profession, I'm a writer by passion, I'm a chartered mediator by association with the Institute of Chartered Mediators and Conciliators of Nigeria, and I'm a happy author of the Dearest Society series. So in 2015, and at the height of my final year in university, I suffered a chronic depression that led to me attempting suicide. Mhm, mhm. After discovering that I failed 7 courses, had an extra year, and won't be going to Nigerian law school for this. All this happened in the middle of having a relationship crisis. So 4 years after, in 2019, I founded Pagide Expressions. Pagide Expressions is a stress management and emotional therapy firm where I talk about basic issues of life, from sex to relationship to family life to religion, mental health, depression, anxiety, and most importantly, suicide. This, in addition to the thoughts I express in writing, I mean, you must have seen some of the things I talk about on Facebook through my writing called Expressions, and the books that come out of those writing and expressing those thoughts. All these with a vision of providing well balanced options and lasting solutions to the problems of society and other mental health challenges. The things I do cut across all things, but most importantly, they focus on mental health. In partnership with key mental health organizations, I've helped over 3,000 youths and teenagers combined with their depressive problems and have received positive results alongside. I'm grateful to God for that. Now, in its fifth and final series, Dearest Society is a coming of age controversial evergreen book that covers different areas of the average human life, from relationship to sex, academics, religion, emotions, and breakup. So Pagidi is all about giving humans the privilege and opportunity to speak their minds, express themselves, be listened to, and be understood, not just through written and spoken media, but also in person. This it does with a straight from the heart, not conformist, direct and straightforward not approach to controversial issues. Using my unique style or my unique writing style as the case may be, in writing relatable stories that comes with it as an avenue for people to shed off mental weight, emotional aches, and disturbing problems in ways that becomes a life-changing experience for them. As you might know, or you should know, I'm a self professed non practicing Christian, and my writings are basically published on social media accounts, most importantly on Facebook and Instagram. And I've gradually become focal on topics and issues not willingly discussed in the society. Residing in Lagos, I don't really believe in marriage as a prerequisite for having children, and I hope so maybe if I always say I'm not interested in getting married, but if I thought I'm going to get married, maybe after I've had my second or fourth child, then I can start thinking of marriage. But all the same, I'm going to be your host for tonight and we'll be having a good time. Let me share a video with you as we proceed with this session.
Or intelligent youth would want to commit suicide when there's so much to live for? And have you ever thought of killing yourself at some point in your life? Well, I have, countless times. And each time, I always want to take my life as much as I'm scared of what will happen if this death doesn't kill me. I've lived a disoriented life amongst other things, and I can't say I've been able to be happy child since the time I was born. If it was the way my dad shouted at me and insulted me at home, or the way I was following mathematics in secondary school, it would have been better. But how do I cope with having 7 carryover courses in the final year of my university? As if that's not enough, my girlfriend that I've been dying for is now leaving and saying she can't feel anything for me again. What kind of life is this? So many heartbreaks, so many heartaches, so many problems, no immediate solution. Sometimes, I wonder why things have to go bad before they can ever turn good. And some other times, death becomes the only option when you know you are done and just want to find your peace. Dearest Society, I've made up my mind to come meet you today. But before I go, I want to show this society intriguing details about what makes a person commit suicide. Perhaps they can have an understanding as to why people like us prefer to choose suicide as a healing remedy, rather than looking for a cure to ease our pain. Because either our problems become a cause to live
Okay, I hope to one day convert all of the books I've been writing, especially Jerry Suicide books, into a movie. And I don't know how it's going to be. I don't know how it's going to come about, but I know I'm going to do that in the coming years. Because one of the interesting things about Jerry Suicide is that it is a personal story that still looks like a movie. I mean, I love the way I wrote the book. I love the way I divided it. I love the way I did audio synchronization, and that's why videos also help in aiding book promotion. Before we continue, I learned that today is also Mother's Day. I don't know. We've had, I don't know how many Mother's Day we've had between January and now, but all the same, happy Mother's Day to all mothers, intending mothers, prospective mothers, potential mothers, and soon to be mothers. In the same manner, if you don't desire to have a child, happy Mother's Day to you too. At least, even though we don't, we cannot call you or we cannot celebrate happy Mother's Day to you, but we know that your own day is going to become where you celebrate it. Now to what Pagide Expressions is all about. So Pagide Expressions is a registered stress management and emotional therapy firm located in Lagos, Nigeria. In 2015, like I said, at the height of my final year in the university, I suffered a chronic depression that led to me attempting suicide. That's after discovery that I failed 7 career courses. So after passing the courses and being called to the Nigerian bar, I became passionate about the plight of people suffering depression and emotional trauma and began researching on the problem of suicide and how therapy can help solve suicide ideations amongst youth and the working class in Nigeria. So in partnership with key mental health organizations, including Mani and ASADS, I don't know if you know of ASAD. Mani is Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative, and ASAD is Anti-Suicide Depression Squad. I've helped over 3,000 youths and teenagers resolve their depressive problems, and this led to the establishment of Pagide Expressions as a stress management and emotional therapy firm in 2019, with a vision of providing well-balanced options and lasting solutions to the problems of society. This includes emotional trauma, anxiety, identity crisis, workplace headaches, antisocial personalities, relationship breakups, post traumatic stress disorders, mood emptiness, and suicidal thoughts. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 1 million people die each year from suicide and suicide related causes. In Nigeria, in particular, the clusters of suicidal cases raise awareness to the fact that many are experiencing emotional health crisis and are in dire need of therapy. I don't know, people don't see therapy as something that we need, but it's an important part of our human existence. So at Pagida Expressions, we are poised to be the task of providing solutions to the problem of suicide by profiling and offering our uniquely tailored therapeutic and counseling services in the form of psychotherapy and emotionally focused therapy to individuals and corporate organizations, by which we can help in creating more jobs and add to the nation's IGR, thereby embracing the Africa philosophy on capitalism. So let's get right into the business. Jerry Suicide in itself started as a singular book in its first pages in February 2020, and I started writing it when I just wanted to have a second book. I mean, I already did my New Year resolutions. For those who remember it, that was when I was running my blog back then. I wrote my New Year resolutions and I published it for free. Then, although now it's no longer free, it's now free. So I wanted to continue with the writing business and just thought of publishing or writing about suicide because I had already written some expressions about it back in 2019. So that's how I wanted to go about writing Jerry Suicide. However, in the middle of writing the book, a second heartbreak occurred that made me succumb into months of episodic suicidal ideation. And after thankfully recovering from it with the help of a mental health therapist, the book that was initially suspended got completed in September 2021 with 1,391 pages. Let me show you. It's a very, very big book. That's this is my joy because you can see it. It's supposed to be like an encyclopedia, but this is everything concerning terror suicide. I mean, I had to print it out. I didn't mind what it would look like, but I really wanted to print it out so that it would motivate me to go ahead to know how to publish it all. And that's what inspired the division of the book because that cannot be printed out as a book. Even encyclopedias have not reached that one. So because of the volume of those pages, I was advised to convert it into a series and sorry, I was advised to convert it into a series, and that is how I got into dividing it into 5 books. Initially, I was thinking of doing it 3 books as I was advised, but when I saw the places that I could cut in the book to make it five, I went ahead to divide it into five. Now, it was not easy. It was not easy having this division because the first thing I divided it into the first 10 chapters to make book one. I'm going to share about that very soon. So that's just what I was concerned about at first, to just publish the first 10 chapters because what when I wanted to write Terror Suicide, the subtitle behind it was just when suicide becomes the healing you need. You can see when suicide becomes the healing you need. That was the concept or idea behind Terror Suicide. So I just wanted to publish that those first 10 chapters, and that's what I would show you in. I want to share my screen with you so that you can see the first book. Love the read. Okay. Yes. Come and give me yeah. So this is Terror Suicide, book one, and yes, that's me. I took that picture because I needed to show something that looks real. Yes, so I took that picture to depict suicide in itself, when suicide becomes the healing you need. And I would try to increase the font so that you can see clearer. And I cautioned it a cause to live with and a cause to die for, just like a play on words there. Because suicide in itself is a cause to live with in the sense that when someone commits suicide or dies by suicide, those who are left alive, that is the family members or the friends, see it as a cause. That is as a cause. CURSE. And for the person who wants to die, he sees it as a cause because that is CAUSE. He sees it as a cause to die for because there is something that is affecting you that wants to make you commit suicide. So um some of the things I'll be showing you here, I will not repeat them the other in the other books. So my expressions is a window to the thoughts of my mind, an outcry from the pains in my heart, a personal letter to an odd listener I wouldn't have imagined talking to. Through each page, you experience emotional pains, controversial facts, multiple obsessions, countless secrets, undeniable truths. By connecting with my expressions, you will realize how deep shit and crazy, great filled with many fake lies and honest pretenses. This life truly is. So that's what I mean by deep shit and crazy. That is, this life is filled with many fake lies and honest pretenses. And how you can start to see yourself for who you truly are in a way I wish I did before I chose to die. I like the way I talked about that. So yeah, I'll just scroll down to okay, yes, like I said, it was personally expressed, let me show you. Personally expressed by me and personally written. Oh yeah, beautiful. You can see it now. Personally expressed by me, personally written for you. It is a true life story. I don't write fictions. I don't know how to write fictions. What I write are expressions, non-fiction. They are my personal stories. Sometimes I use my family as my story. I use my friends as my story. I mean, that's one of the beauty of a writer. If you are a writer or you have a friend as a writer, just be prepared that the person is going to write about you in his writings. And for someone like me, I don't do assuming. I write something the way it is. So let me just go down to certain parts. Okay, yes, thank you to all those who talked about packed expressions. That's where you can see the reactions to the book. I may not be, I'm looking at my time. A lot of people wrote about it, and including Dr. Orefe Williams. Yeah, he said, I'm a fantastic writer. And as a literary fellow himself, he is extremely proud of my contributions to humanities. Now, let me continue saying it the way he said it. I would have wished someone like you. Okay, sorry. I would have wished. Sorry if you cannot see it, oh, but when I'm reading it, you will see it. I would have wished someone like you sat before me as a student in my department when I was a university teacher. I schooled at Olabisi Branch University and he was also a lecturer there at some point. We need very creative minds like you who have authentic visions and who know why they are in school. I'm glad you proved yourself as an objective writer without an iota of doubting the synthetics and aesthetics that comes with literature. I might not have read all your expressions, but the ones I glanced through got me fulfilled that there are fantastic writers around. It actually takes a scholar who is not blinded by sheer piety or religiosity to appreciate your works. Your art is bold and unapologetically satirical. You don't actually write, you craft. Thank you very much, sir. Uh, Let me see. You craft. And crafting is what makes a great writer. Perhaps this could be published. Okay, that was when he was just commenting on one of my expressions that I did write. He said, perhaps this could be published. Thankfully, and thank God, I finally started publishing them. Who knows? It could also be a collection. I deliberately, where am I? I deliberately lend my support to your literature publicly and not through the inbox so that your religious critics, because I have lots of them back then, your religious critics would know there are bishops appreciating your art. It's impossible to appreciate literature if you already are biased from the scratch, culturally or religiously. It takes a Worthian tranquility to see beyond the surface and uncover the metaphors and metonymy Oyinbo that illuminate on the seeming metaphysics of literature. For if a writer doesn't for if a writer doesn't strike someone's anger at the beginning, we won't get him to the end. I honor you, Pagide, and thanks for your consistent honor over the years. I am exceptionally proud of you, and I believe this little comment of mine would help do more for you than a deliberate silence. Write more, and I mean write more. Instructors and institutions are eagerly waiting for your publications. I mean, this was back in 2019 or early, yeah, 2019. That's when you posted that, and I'm so happy with that comment because it helped to show what I am doing. So I dedicated the Suicide to myself. These are dedicated to me. Let me extend the screen so you can see. Okay, so to me, I'm still not sure if I'm living or I've not been dead and buried. All I know is that I've been struggling with my depressions and struggling to daily survive another suicidal thought. Mhm. Now, many people have suicidal thoughts, but they don't talk about it. And what I was happy was that I was able to talk about mine and share it with the world. Now, I think it's from this content page that I will just be sharing glimpses and clips of what I wrote in Jerry Suicide 1. So, the part one, it said it's good to commit suicide. I remember what when I wrote it's good to commit suicide, the concept behind it was trying to tell people that it's good to commit suicide. I mean, it could be a play on words, but at the same time, it's not a play on words because, in essence, it's good to commit suicide. I shared in chapter one, I shared different people who committed suicide and how they died. Let me dive right into it. Let me dive right into it so that you see what I mean. In it's good to commit suicide. I was trying to be intentional with writing it because I wanted people to see things. Now, this is going to be the last expression you are going to read. Okay. This is going to be the last expression you are going to read from me before I finally decide to commit my suicide. I'm sorry to say, but I've read enough. And since it's the last time you read me, what would you make of it? How would it look to you? Sorry, I'm coming. Give me a moment. Where is it? Okay, I'm back. Thank you. So, what would you make of it? How would it look to you? What would you make of my words, my actions, my vulnerabilities, my fears, my smiles, my courage, my cheers, my tears, and all of the times you spent reading each and every piece of me in the past? Have you even spent any time worth spending out with me at all? Did you ever take note of the things I was clearly writing out, saying, screaming, and expressing with unequivocal words plus alphabets? Did you value anything I wrote, or were they read with beefs, smirks, scoffs, scorn, and sheer pretense? A sheer pretense of saying, well done, when you are only trying to contain your discomfort of reading something that doesn't make sense to you. And before you could even say Jack or care to appreciate my work, I'm gone. I live, I die, I commit my suicide without saying a word, not even a good, not to talk of the accompanied by. Well, I have no words to say to you for now. I'll rather turn my focus to a friend I've long been admiring from a distance, suicide. So sure you get that was the concept and idea behind it, behind writing Dearest Suicide. I well, I left the things the world were talking about and decided to focus on suicide and share my thoughts or my experiences with suicide since the world would not be ready to listen to me. So I continue. Dear Suicide, how are you doing? It's been a while I heard from you, and I thought it best to come see you since I no longer have anyone to talk to. The last time we met, a larger part of the crowd silently made noise about our friendship. They raised their head, twitched their nose, beat the dust, and held placards in resistance of the opinion I held concerning you. It's good to commit suicide, I wrote, and I gave a long dosage of pills about our love story and how the affair we had almost made you take in for me. You know, I saw suicide as a female and I being the male, and we're exchanging a love affair, a love story that made suicide almost pregnant for me. Controversial, that's what they called me and hauled at me. They had lots of sentences to make about my type of thoughts, style of writing, and even questioned what I want to bring out of my expressions. They demanded that I explain why I would write in such a manner, knowing fully well that lots of young fools were now taking their lives in disturbing numbers. I never cared to listen to them. Even though they judged, I didn't budge, didn't nudge, didn't even dare fudge. I kept on writing. I knew exactly why I was writing, who I was writing to, and what I was talking about. So I wasn't ready to allow some irrational nitwits think their misplaced opinions could stop me from admiring your beauty or my plans to come live with you. I had made myself mentally strong for my cause already. so I wasn't swayed by their sentimental sentiments. However, the story didn't begin here. On 28th of November 2018, a final year student of agricultural economics studying at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, took his own life unannounced. Okay, so I'll stop there, and that's how I continued talking about suicide. I shared different stories of different Nigerian students who committed suicide, and I went on and on. So that was the concept or idea behind saying it's good to commit suicide. So I shared about two or three different stories of I shared about three different stories of people who committed suicide, and I went on to talk about how it is good to commit suicide because when you read their stories, you will see the reason why they committed suicide. You may not agree with those reasons, but you will see that there are reasons why they decided to do what they did. So going on to sorry, yeah. So going on to part two, I titled it "Cupid Cruelty." So that's why I started talking about my relationship with my the first person I wanted to be in relationship with. It's a very, very interesting read. It's a very, very interesting read. I titled it "Cupid Cruelty." So Cupid Cruelty, Lost in Labyrinth, Noisy Silence were three things about the first relationship I wanted to go into. If you've had a relationship whereby you did not, okay, whether you dated the person or didn't date the person, but this person made you feel like shit, this person rejected you, this person did not accept your love, blah blah blah, all this kind of thing, you would relate to the story. So 2, 3, 4 were about that. Emotional doldrums was about how I was having issues in my growing up life and how it was affecting my thoughts and my reasons and my self-esteem. I also talked about how I started masturbating in emotional doldrums. I talked about how I started watching pornography in emotional doldrums. I talked about how Christianity was affecting me and how it made me just choose to stop going to church. In part six, academic depression, that's why I talked about the seven career courses I had in the university. And I did not just start from the university, I started from secondary school. How I started failing mathematics and I started growing into the university, and how I started. I did not just have seven carryover courses in final year. It started from my 100 level when I started failing those courses. So you see the story behind it in academic depression. And in desiring suicide, part seven, that is where I talked about suicide in itself. I defined suicide. I talked about okay, yes, I defined suicide, and in part nine, numbers, figures, statistics, that's where I talked about the statistic behind suicide and how one person commits suicide every 20 seconds. I also talked about the world statistics of suicide, Nigerian statistics of suicide, American statistics of suicide. And I ended with part 10, mysteries. Let me go to the end. Let me go to the end. It's a long read, but let me see where I can read. So you can see now that this is where I defined suicide. No, I was just writing different stories. So when you go through it, when you get when suicide becomes the delay you need, you would see what I was talking about concerning. Why is this thing going down? Up. I have to take it down. So mysteries part 10. Yeah. So because this part 10 gives us an introduction into parts into book 2. So I've never been wise. Maybe I have. Maybe I've tried to be. Maybe I don't even know what I am. But I can't rule out the fact that culture, church, religion, and the thoughts of God relationship and the talks of godly relationship that comes with it has fucked my mind up as to what constitutes an ideal and a perfect relationship. And that's simply because the gift of having a successful dating or romantic relationship is not one I am significantly sold out to anymore or interested in again at all. Reasons being that each time I try my hands on any given relationship, I find myself falling right back where I began, beyond where I even began. And it's always a difficult story to explain, narrate, or contend with. It gets so crazy that every little problem is seen as a reason why I can't be told I love you again. Twice I've fallen in love, maybe three times, if I'm able to carefully consider my emotional dealings. And once I've fucked up in the art of truly staying in love, just once, one that will forever haunt me because of the way and manner in which I carried out my acts. I think of the second ever time I had a love interest, and all I can remember is a girl who was crazily in love with me and was ready to do everything to keep me. But what did I do? I kept her away from my life without even giving her a reason why I wasn't interested again. I was her boyfriend, she was my girlfriend, the first real girlfriend I ever had. However, as much as I needed the strings and feelings, I didn't want anyone that was going to drain me emotionally. I had my own problems, I didn't talk about it, yet I was scribbling words about what I didn't like about her, in the hope that what the facts plus figures would have to be consulted from both ends to find out what truly happened. Because all I kept telling those I told as the reason for my breakup was the call was too much, I couldn't cope again, the love was too much, she was draining me with too much calls. So let me stop there. So this and many more encapsulate what I was trying to talk about with mysteries. I was trying to introduce the second relationship because with book one, I already talked about the first relationship, and that's a relationship that did not even lead to a relationship because I ended up leaving her and I told her that I wasn't interested again. She should go away, let me go away. So I now started, or I was about starting a second relationship, as you can see. It. And that's what where we are going to end Dearest Suicide Book 1 and go into Dearest Suicide Book 2. But before I go into Dearest Suicide Book 2, I would want to play a video for us to see. That is the video trailer for Dearest Suicide Book 2. Okay, so that's the movie trailer for Dearest Suicide Book 2. And when I when I published Dearest Suicide Book 1, it was titled When Suicide Becomes a Excuse me, it was titled When Suicide Becomes a Healing You Need. And I published that May 12th, 2022. Because when I wanted to publish Dearest Suicide in September, I told you that I started writing it in 2020. When I wanted to release it, I wanted to release it in May 2020. But since I couldn't release it in May 2020, I decided to, and I finished the book in 2021 in September. So I just decided to wait till May 2022 to release it. Now, the idea behind choosing May 12th for Jerry Suicide is because my birthday is in December and it's on the 12th. So I just decided to choose a date that will be unique for me and I can always use for anything I want to do. So that was the reason behind choosing May 12th for the book launch. That's for when suicide becomes a healing unit. Now for book two, sometimes death becomes the only option. I chose September 12th. Still, what I did with all the five books was that I maintained the date 12. Whatever date fell on, whether it was Sunday or Saturday or Tuesday, I just chose 12 as the date to release all the books. And one of the interesting things with Jerry Side Book 2 is that it was released 2 days after the World Suicide Day. Yes, World Suicide Awareness or World Suicide Prevention Day. So World Suicide Prevention Day is September 10th, and I released Jerry Side Book 2 September 12th. And I titled it Sometimes Death Becomes the Only Option. And before I even continue, uh, what are the kind of things that could happen to you that will make death become the only option? I remember there are sometimes it might have not happened to me personally. I can't remember now, but it's supposed to. But when we were kids, there are some things that will happen to us that maybe when our parents send us an errand to go and get something, and on our way back, we've thrown away the thing that they told us to go and get. So instead of getting home, we prefer that let the earth just open and swallow us so that we'll just die again, so that we'll just know that because we know that if we get back home, the way they will beat us, it's better we could just die now than for them to come and beat us themselves. So that is just one of the examples of sometimes death becomes the only option. There are sometimes that I mean reality speaking, maybe you play bets and you lose. In fact, there's even one bet I played tonight sef for back and even betting back. But they beat them. Okay, that still did it. Wow, 4-2. Oh, match has been ended. Match has been ended 4-2. So first half was 3-0, second half 1-1. Mhm. So people who play there, there are some kind of losses that you have that sometimes death will become the only option. Let me share my screen to show you the beauty of dearest suicide. So yeah, so this is dearest suicide book 2 titled Sometimes Death Becomes the Only Option. And as you can see again, it's okay, yeah. I when I ended book one, it was with the mystery. So when you read book one, you will see how the mystery ended, and that's when and I said that just when let me see if I can extend the screen. Just when you thought the mystery was over, the saga just began. In book two, what I did was that for book one, I focused on the first relationship. Book two, yeah, I mean, there are other stories I talked about. There are other stories I talked about, but in terms of the relationship, for book one, I focused on the first relationship. Book two and book three, second relationship. Then book four, book five, third relationship, and the mix there like that. So let's look at what the about is. Okay, so about the book, he happily wrote his final papers after spending 6 years. I mean, you could see that in the trailer. After spending 6 years for a 5 year course, only to realize he has 7 carryover courses and an automatic extra year. On the flip side, his relationship is sitting in the rocks as his lover is stalling on a reply after 7 months. I mean, that was the first relationship because after 7 months, I had to tell her to go away, let me go my way. At home, he's having a hard time dealing with his father's erratic behaviors and insults, which gives him traumatic episodes and a low self esteem as he struggles to find his place between adolescence, teenage, and adulthood. Locked in the middle of his life, his love and his emotions, he takes a decision no one expected of him or saw coming. Now, what decision did I take in book two? Okay, these are reactions to book two. Different people will share their thoughts about the book. You can see them here. Let me see if I can extend the screen a little so that you just see their names. Yeah, that's the purpose. So that you see their names and what they were writing or talking about. And when she talked, is it to she different names, different people who talked about the book. Okay, yes, I repeated all of your names again. Yeah, a lot. I mean, that was the beauty with book two. Because of what they read in book one, they had uh, lots of joy wanting to share their thoughts in book two. So now in book two, I talked about teenage suicide. Yes. In book one, I did a lot of stories on how people commit suicide and the reasons behind their suicide. Some of them, academics, how one person failed. Interestingly, one person just failed one course in his final year. You know, me, I failed seven and I did not commit suicide. But this person failed one course, and because he was not going to go to NYC with his set, and it was the class governor of his class. What? Class governor of his class. He was the class governor, and he committed suicide. So in book two, I focused on teenagers and the way they committed their suicide. That's why I titled it Little Angels. So part 11 and part 12, titled Little Angels and Teenage Crisis, talks essentially on teenagers, their issues with suicide, how people rate them or don't appreciate them or don't value them. Let me see if I can. Okay. Yes. So everyone can have one thing or the other to say when it comes to suicide, but it won't change the narrative that many youth are battling with quite a number of problems they can't talk to anyone about, even to themselves. Sometimes believing death to be the only way out of such problems. Yeah, that's where the title came from. Sometimes death becomes the only solution. Is it? Okay, death becomes the only option. So, in the pursuit of happiness, there's a struggle to belong, the search for a job, the quest for academic success, the chase of money, and the constant need to project ourselves as the persons we are not on social media or peppered by what we see. But dearest society, the number of count charges against you for killing young minds and creative souls has been way so or too alarming that even if I were to be a lawyer, I'll back out of the case. My dear, they said you've killed a lot of teenagers. It's so sad. A little lad who hadn't even lived up to a decade on earth plunged to his death in horrific fashion. Question marks could have been raised as to why the little lad, who was just 8 years old, 8-year-old child committed suicide, who was just 8 year old would even think of jumping off the window of his house to die in the very first instance. But for a lad who had been regularly beaten by his parents for one little mistake or the other, he could have been easily forgiven for making such a choice. So you can see for book two, what I did was talk about different uh, different people who committed suicide. That's what I did. That is different teenagers who committed suicide. That's what I was doing with Terror Suicide. So, and I talked about teenagers. I also, yeah, I also shared about that's it was now in book two that I went fully into the second relationship. You know, now with this second relationship, this is how it is. I got in love with a girl. I asked her out. We started dating. So on my way to law school, I said law school, on my way to NYC, I told her that she should not talk to me again. Like she should not come for the 21 days that I'll be in camp. So she agreed not to talk to me. not to send me any message, of course. But instead of just fully agreeing, she decided to be writing emails. So it was those emails that I started sharing in this book. And if you read book one, you'll see the flow of how everything is. So the first email was titled Nothing Much. The second one, okay, yeah, the first email was titled Nothing Much. And no, the sorry, part 13 was titled Nothing Much because that was the first title of our email. And I shared different parts of the emails in the book. Organized Chaos talks about the COVID, yes, COVID 19, and some people who committed suicide during COVID 19. Part 15 continues to talk about the emails. I mean, if you like gossips and you like gists, you're going to see these are real stories. She was writing about the different things she was going through a day, how she loves me, everything. She titled it Letter to God. Yes, she titled each of her emails Letter to God. So you see different parts of the emails there in part 15. Part 16, many money problems. Okay, that's where I was talking about how I was losing bets, losing money, how I was scammed, MMM, and so many other double cash and things like that. That's what I talked about in many money problems. And part 17, I talked about men have feelings too. As I talked about midlife crisis and certain pastors who committed suicide. Yeah, I talked about certain pastors who committed suicide, and that's why I talked about men alpha. But let me share with you. Let's go to part 15. Let me share with you some of the emails so that you just understand because we are going to book three. Let me just share with you. So, okay, don't let me go to part 15. Let's start with part 16. Now, this is my girlfriend writing a message to me through her email, which, like I said, she titled it Nothing Much. She said, I'll start from the messages you sent after the call, especially the one where you said you would not call back. My silence is for the best. So let me take it out to get to say you see. My silence is for the best. When I'm angry, I use words I mostly end up wishing I didn't use, and I tried not to say anything I would regret. I received 60 messages from you afterwards, and although you had mentioned it during the calls, my head was blown to pieces. I wanted to say so many things, but instead I sang a song and updated my status. From the start, we had a whole lot of free time, and we were almost always on the phone. I used to call you at intervals, my thing. You didn't say anything about you didn't say nothing about it. The first time anyone suggested the reduction in calls, I was the one, and I was considering cost. It sounded like I was looking for a way to stop talking to you, and I decided against it. I kept calling. You used to joke about my face. Okay, so you can just see she was talking and writing about the different things that led to me saying that she shouldn't call me again. So that's all about terrorist suicide book two. And in everything that you read in book two, you will see why sometimes death becomes the only option. I mean, there are so many reasons why people would want to commit themselves, so many reasons why people would okay. Yeah. There are so many reasons why people want to commit suicide or why they want to kill themselves, and part of the reasons are what you see in terrorist suicide book 2. Now, as we move to terrorist suicide book 3, let me just take a break by playing this video for us once again.
tonight, night turns to whatever we want. We're young enough to say, oh, this has gotta be a good life. This has gotta be a good life. This could really be a good life, good life. I say, oh, this feeling that you can't fight. The city is on fire tonight. This could really be a good life, a good, good life. To my friends in New York, I say hello, my friend.
Okay, so welcome back, and I've been talking about Dare Suicide series book one and two, and now we are going into book three. Book three is titled Mental Health, Emotional Crisis, Depression. And in book three, one of the interesting things I did with it was that I talked about mental health in itself. I've been sharing stories of how people have been committing suicide and the reasons behind it. So now in book three, I went further to discuss and define depression, talk about anxiety, talk about the different mental disorders that makes people go and commit suicide. Let me share three with you. I love the picture I took here because it um, showed me thinking, and it showed, if you look at the back, like I'm just overwhelmed with things going on, and there is suicide holding me, and me thinking of the world shit. So you can see everything. So that's just concept idea behind it. Thinking of, and three was the trilogy. So mental health, emotional crisis, depression. That's the trilogy. Let's see what the about is. Okay, yes, I just remembered another interesting thing I did with three was that I talked about footballers who committed suicide. Yes, I talked about footballers who committed suicide, and that was because book three was released in December. Yes, book three was released in December 12th. That's on my birthday. I'm just remembering this thing. Book three was released December 12th on my birthday, and the month of December was World Cup. So at the beginning of this intriguing, reflecting, thought-provoking, and soul-tearing series set in the year 2015 AD, Pagidi was ready to commit suicide after having seven career courses and suffering a heartbreak. Now, in his third installment, Pagidi gives us a feel of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2020 experience by taking us into the lives of great footballers who died by suicide. The subject hardly talked about in the world of football. The author doesn't stop there, as he further discusses the controversy surrounding the unaffectionate affair between him and his girlfriend, this time in her raw, expressive, and vulnerable letters written to him during his NYC camp. Unable to get a response from him, she takes a decision only few would have blamed her for. What did she do? So, yeah, that's what the about of Dear Society 3 is. And yeah, yeah, I wanted to go to the titles, the chapters there. So Elmora and the Saints, yeah. Elmora is a particular footballer who committed suicide in the year 2021, February 2021. That's when he committed suicide. And as a footballer playing his football in South America. So with him, I did a load of different other footballers who committed suicide, including a particular footballer who was gay who committed suicide because he was gay and they were trying to arrest him and did not want to be arrested again. So part 18, Amora and the Saints. Part 19, How Do You Feel? Part 20, Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. Part 21, Deeply in Love. Part 22, Character Assassination. In this character assassination, that's where I was talking about the different characters we have, the different attitudes we have, the different dispositions people put in that affect our mental health. Like for example, now someone like me now, I remember back then in secondary school, they always talk about how short I am. I am short this, short in God, this kind of thing. And then it was affecting me, but over time it stopped affecting. So for some people, because they are fat, people say they are fat. Some people because they are skinny. And to the extent of yeah, how I talked about character assassination, I remember using Nathaniel Bassey, Tekwalabi, and Cardi B as examples that the fact that Nathaniel Bassey sings Christian or gospel song doesn't mean he's a good person. And the fact that Cardi B sings odd and shows her breast and those kind of things doesn't mean she's a bad person. The definition of what is good or what is bad only begins and ends in the dictionary. Anything outside that is left to what people do. So part so chapter 3 essentially talks about different series of mental health, different series of emotional crisis, and different series of depression. And in part 25, I shared about things people should do or not do when someone wants to commit suicide. Let me go to that place and read it. Part 25. Ready to go to science. Yeah. I'm sorry. Let me just. I'm trying to. You can see I'm trying to scroll to. Um, just give me a moment, please. Eh, yeah. Okay. Let me start from here. Let me start from here. Let me start from here. Talking about talking about being in great guilt or shame, neglecting physical. Okay. Let me just go a little further up. Okay, so the behaviors listed below may pass as signs that someone is thinking of suicide. Those who speak about being a burden to others, having no reason to live, feeling empty, trapped, hopeless, in unbearable physical or emotional pain, talking about being in great guilt or shame, neglecting physical appearance, losing the desire to engage in day to day activities, withdrawing from family and friends, having some sudden personality changes, such as displaying extreme or dramatic mood swings, like changing from very sad mood to a very calm or happy mood within split seconds, or switching from outgoing to becoming withdrawn or well behaved to acting rebellious, acting anxious or agitated, showing rage or talking about seeking revenge, feeling alone and unfulfilled, changing eating and sleeping habits like eating too little or too much and sleeping too little or too much, resulting in weight loss or gain, losing all you have to sporting bets, crypto, forex, scam, or what have you, giving away important possessions, putting affairs in order, making a will, saying goodbye to friends and family, talking or thinking about death way too often, too much to the extent of considering it as your only option you have, or writing about suicide as a healing and or way out to how you are feeling, believing there's no more solution to life's problems, taking risks that could lead to death, such as reckless driving or just going away. If a person exhibits any of the above, they may be actively suicidal. The signs of one who is said to be actively suicidal can be due to major life changes such as being sacked from work, retirement, loss of sense of purpose, and especially relationship breakup. So you can see, that's what I said that I did an expository talk on mental health, on emotional crisis, and on how on the things that can make people commit suicide. I There's also a part I talked about that I'm trying to look for, but it's something interesting. If I can easily find it, I'll read it, and if I can't, we'll just go on to book four. Okay, let me see this one. And you, and by you, I'm referring to you, who is always quick to talk and give advice when it comes to issues of society. Talking in the speech and in the easy jargon when you would possibly not handle the case well if you are to ever find yourself in such a situation. That's if you've ever truly been there, as you've always been there. Making things. Let me now focus my attention on the more reasonable ones, the ones who love suicide and even desire to have a good time. If you are thinking, yeah, yes, this is what I'm talking. If you are thinking about ways to end your life, you must be feeling so overwhelmed and hopeless right now, with doubts about what your life is worth if you don't go. And when these suicidal thoughts are strong, it may feel like you have to act on your thoughts immediately and try to see how you can end things quickly. In such occasions, that ceremonial talk of there's always someone you can talk to oftentimes feels like an empty chariot of hopeless trash. A statement that doesn't fully make sense to the mind, especially when you dial a number and the person is either proving too busy to have your time or rather too impatient to listen. These things happen, and they they are usually very annoying to the one seeking help, both directly and indirectly. Nonetheless, what happens after you kill yourself? What happens after you die? Where exactly do you go? So I was talking about what people can do when they want to commit suicide. So yes, what happens after you kill yourself? Where exactly do you go? Do you really find the peace you are looking for? And does the pain really go away for those who you've left behind? So for the sake of posterity, I think I'm going to just say some things, only few things, and try to be as fast as possible. Truth is, if you sense, think, feel, or believe you, your friend or neighbor, or a member of your nuclear or extended family, even an acquaintance or anyone for that matter, is thinking of contemplating or considering suicide, there are many things you can do about it to help the person. So to find out the things that you can do, get DRS Society 3, mental health, emotional crisis, depression. And you can say I talk beautifully about it in TRS side 3, and it goes for 10,000 naira only. But if you are really, really interested in the book, you can get it still. Yeah, you can get it still if you don't want to pay the 10,000 by just sending me a direct message on Facebook and making a payment of any amount to the number that is appearing on the screen, and the book is sent to you. So book one is 6,009. If you don't have the money to get for 6,009, you can still send a message to the screen, to the account details shown on the screen, and it will be sent to you. Same thing with book two. Now let's go to book four. We did a video for book four. Book four is titled The Beginning of the End. That's the video trailer for Dearest Suicide 4, and I titled it The Beginning of the End. The reason why I titled it The Beginning of the End is because I wanted to give people a glimpse of what the end is going to look like. Because we had already been coming from book one, when suicide becomes the healing you need. Book two, sometimes death becomes the only option. Book three, mental health, emotional crisis, depression. We were already flowing through the stories. We were already ending. Um, it looked like we were ending the story of my second relationship, and nobody knew what was going to happen next. So that's why I titled. Okay, yeah, nobody knew what was going to happen next in even in the three. So that's why I titled it the beginning of the end, because the second relationship was coming to an end in three. It was kind of painful. I broke her heart in a way that I wasn't supposed to, and I messed things up, and the end was at hand. So, dearest suicide book four. I hope you are having a good time and enjoying this so far. So, with dearest suicide book four, you can see the picture. There were a lot of things happening. I discussed mental health again in book four, and I also discussed the use of drugs, how people use drugs as a way of getting out of their problems. It was in book four. I also talked about how Michael Jackson died, how Whitney Houston died, and a lot of other people who didn't commit suicide themselves, but the things, the drugs they were taking, made them overdose, which led to their death. That was why you can see it that way. And as I said, this book, let me read this one to you. This book is considered by many to be a mixture of a memoir, an autobiography, and a self-help manual. Carries with it deep secrets, hidden mysteries, and unexplained tragedies. We're about to experience twists, turns, intrigues, tension, crisis, conflict, accusations, counterplots, betrayals, and epic clashes in a story with several parts: a depressive romantic thriller, a youth age teenage daily drama, and a real time relationship saga, amongst many other telling, engaging, and provoking tales. But who committed suicide this time around? Find out inside. So that's where who committed suicide in Terry Suicide for. Someone committed suicide, Abby, or someone did it. Someone did. I don't know. But when you get Terry Suicide before, you will see who committed suicide. Now, straight to the titles. One of the interesting thing with Jerusalem is that the way I was naming its title of not just the book, each chapter was interesting. I don't know how I came about those words. Some were inspirational, some I just cut. When you are sad, the best of things comes out from you and to you. I really appreciate everyone who had to talk about. I mean, that's what you can see here. Everyone who had to talk about the book, you can see. Many people talked about the book. So when you open it, you can see this one says your style of writing is unique and your book exceptional. Viewing suicide from a perspective has been refreshing and compelling. Your expressions are a page turner. I discovered that, like me, you're a survivor and even more, an exemplary figure and a leader's leader. Thank you. In your warm and friendly style, you thought that our past failures and adversities should be used to help us survive, find our peace, and succeed where we once failed. Though suicide wasn't an option for me, it's a lady that is talking. Being an optimist, I still wonder if I hadn't been a fighter, an optimist, a believer in God, would I have been given this? Would I have given in to the thoughts back then? So this is one person. Many other people wrote different things concerning their thoughts on the book. And yeah, let me read about the disclaimer. Let me read about the disclaimer because it's the same disclaimer in all books. But since I'm here now, let me read about it. So for all the books, I said it that the content you are about to read contains. Can you see this? Yeah. The content you're about to read contains extremely provocative words, languages, views, and opinions that may come out as disturbing and offensive to your person, faith, lifestyle, and beliefs. Be borne in mind that sorry, yeah. Be borne in mind that the words herein remain the intellectual property of Pagide expressions and has no affiliation with or should be misinterpreted to be forming part of the words, opinions, or content of any prior or future writer, author, publisher, or whosoever. This appeal is made with good conscience because words are very powerful and human opinions are very delicate. As such, they ought to be handled with utmost care, caution, and understanding. However, I as a person handle words plus opinions with the highest form of disregard without any apology to anyone. Without at first, strongly advise to make conscious effort to decide whether or not to consider the content therein. The names of real characters were used. Yeah, that's where I'm going to. The names of real characters were included for proper reference so as not to serve as a fictional tale or anything close to it. Their identity shouldn't in any way be construed as representing whatsoever image represented or role played in my life. Many parts, lines of thoughts, and expressions might have changed in perspective or their present day reality. But here I am writing out how I felt at the very point in time of their presence in my life. They each have their stories to tell. Here is mine. So you can see that's that's the disclaimer I put for all five books. In fact, interestingly, it's a disclaimer that I'm going to be using for any or all of my books. So what ensued in book four? Yeah, it was the beginning of the end. Uh, how my second relationship, the letters she was writing to me explaining how the end of the relationship came. Now, the half of it was now me talking about what I did or what I couldn't do that led to the end of that relationship. That's what was titled the half of it. Over Dead and Buried is still on the relationship, how the relationship came to an end. Falling Again is, I mean, I'm going to read that part to you because that is where a new character was introduced to the book. That's the third relationship. That's where the third relationship was introduced into the book. Instinct, missed signals, February 2020, more problems here and there, Alia Iacta S are all about the third relationship that I entered. So let's go. Falling Again, part 30. Can I find it? We'll soon round up this session. Okay, mixed signals. We'll soon round up this session. I just want to show you some interesting parts. Okay, yeah, you can see also in the book. I also uh, I also made it possible for people who have suicide ideation and want to someone. You can say, do you need to talk to someone about your suicide ideation? Click on When you click on this Google form, it will take you to Money to fill up the money initial contact form, and you'll be attended to immediately. When I was suicidal, I had to go through money, and it was this link that I clicked and they were able to attend to me. I just remember also that in book four was published February 12th, 2022. So I showed glimpse of Peter Obi's election. I want to see if I can get it. Yeah, why I say Peter Obi is because I was supporting Peter Obi. So if I cannot get it, I will just have to go straight to falling again. I'll be having a nice time. Like I said, the prices of the book, yes, I put in a lot of work. Oh, you can even see, interestingly, book four is being sold for 1,000 naira. So I try to make the books. Some are expensive, some are cheap. So you get the one that you can afford and leave the rest. If you want to read, there's side book four is actually very interesting. So people didn't try at all. It struck me where it hurt most, and my guard was left defenseless. I love you. Oh, I don't have to read this, but I was writing about how I started the third relationship. Interestingly, it was still during the service year, but 3 months to the end of my service year was when I got into the third relationship. I loved the girl's one. I was 2018 batch A, she 2018 batch C, and that's how I got to meet her. And we started talking. So you can see it. Yes, I got myself involved in love again after the extra drama with the just concluded one, and I was very happy with this one. Not really just concluded, as there was a vacuum of more than 6 months in my heart before I could acknowledge that I was having a feeling of wanting to be with a girl again. Now that was then. Now, interestingly, this third relationship broke up. It broke 3 years ago, and for the past 3 years, I've not been in any relationship. Interestingly, and I'm not interested in any relationship for now. Not because I'm scared of any relationship. No, I think I've come to a stage where I have enjoyed relationship, and now I just want to be alone and be a full-time home. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, as I'm saying, all that I finally found. Okay, sorry, not really just only as there was a vacuum of more than 6 months in my heart before I could acknowledge that I was having a feeling of wanting to be with a girl again, or that I finally found the one I was going to be able to boldly approach from the many options I was so shy to ask out. So that's it. I fell in love again in Terrace Suicide Book 4. And when you read it, you say like keeping Jibo boy. There are lots of she can see guy. I put in that's another thing. I put in lots and lots of work in trying to shoot the video like you saw in YouTube, and give pictures for book for all of the books. I'm trying to look for the one I said concerning Peter Obi. I'm sure we'll be able to see it from here because I did a campaign for him. The February election was February 2020 was February 25, and the book was released February 12. So the idea was that when people purchase the book, that was another reason why I made it 1,000 naira so that people can easily get the book. Oh yes, yes, I've seen it. So that people can easily get the book, and it that was my own way of giving awareness or campaigning for the Labour Party LP 74 LP 75. Even though the something is you don't share way now. Just doing it soon. Film where I've not sent it to. Well, anything you want to do, no concern. But you concern me, I will still have to beg it. So to she normal. Just have to make it. Yes, yes. You can see. So I did an advert. You can imagine when a book is having short break. That's what made me say that I did the book like a movie. That's what made me say I did book like a movie. So you can see your PVC is your power. Don't leave it idle. Now the next time we're going to have the photo is 2027. So 2027 we are going to see another set of generations going to the to register to get their PVC and to vote. I hope we are not going to vote for Tinubu a second time because I don't understand that. Right? Hope for my to get down. But your PVC is your power. Don't leave it idle. Use it to change this bad government. I showed you Nigeria needs a new heart, and we have a great team in Obi that vote Peter Obi 2023. I know posterity is going to speak for me concerning this thing that I did. And I also contested, or is it contested? I also campaigned, yes, not contested, I also campaigned for Gladeko Roads. We all know how that ended and how they used tribalism in stopping people from voting. But all the same, I know that I did my best in sharing um, my weight behind the Labour Party movement, and it was a worthwhile and interesting listen. So you can see that's Terrace Suicide Book 4. That's where it ends. And it's a very interesting subject. So with Terrace Suicide Book 4, I was now talking extensively about the fourth relationship. I mean, when you listen to all of the virtual launch sessions which would be put on YouTube very, very soon. Each and all the videos, including this one, you're going to get them on YouTube so that you'll be able to watch it any other time. And at the same time, we're already making plans to have our books in audio. We're already making plans to have our books in audio. If you want to get the shirts, if you want to get the shirts like this one, they are available. In fact, let me show you before I go to book 5. Let me see if I can share my screen and show you how you can get each and every of our products. Yes. Yes. So I believe you'll be able to see my screen here. Now, the Dairy Society is very easy. You can get it on Seller. That's the platform. It is also available on Amazon, but we are going to be making use of Seller because Seller appeals to the Nigerian audience, while Amazon appeals to the international audience. So since I'm basically speaking to Nigerians, the best way to get Seller is seller.co. Because Seller's address is not .com, it's .co. So seller.co /terrace society. That is how you type it. Seller.co /terrace society. When you click on it, you are able to see the book. Yeah, so you can see. That's me. Now that is it. I'm coming. Just give me a minute. I want so that you'll be able to see it very well. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this right. Okay. Yes. This is what I was trying to achieve so that my face will be taken away, but you'll still be able to see what's on the screen. So this is Jerry's side one for 6,009. Like I said, you can always send me a message if you don't have the money to buy it for that price, and you can just, I mean, send a token any amount you want to send. Because if you send 500 now to me, I will tear you slap. So that's what terrorist suicide one. Now to now go to terrorist suicide book two, all you have to do is, you've already type seller.co/terrorist suicide. So now get terrorist suicide book two, you just add two to it, number two, and that's the way we try to do it so as to make it easily understandable and accessible. So you can see this set. So yeah, just like just when you get to seller.co, you'll be able to get the book for 8,000 naira. And as we said, there is a money back guarantee. That's majorly the reason why they put it at that price. Yes, we said okay, although the full month, yeah. Yes, this is where I said that it comes with the money back guarantee. If you are not now, so if you bought the book and you are not satisfied with what you bought, you did not even enjoy the story, or you not understand, you can ask for a refund. If you feel suicidal after reading the book, you can as well ask for a refund, and the money will be sent back to you. And it does not matter whether it is 1 year after or 10 years after, the money that you used in buying the book will be sent back to you. No questions, no hassles, no stress. And the special shocker is that after returning your money, you get a sincere public letter of apology from me, Pakidi, for wasting your time and your money in getting the book. And you still get to keep the book as a compensation for the wasted time and money. So you can see how interesting it is. And that is just to let you know that I did a lot of work in the book to ensure that you don't have a cause to return your money to me. So to get their side three, you have already typed seller.co/their suicide. So you just add three to it, and it will take you to their suicide three. The filler, the filler, yeah. So that's what, like I said, that's why I said that this is the best thing you want to read going into the Christmas and festive season. That was when I did the recycle three, because it was published in December, and it was few weeks to Christmas. Now for Darius Suicide 4, still going by the same procedure, Darius seller.co/Darius Suicide, you just add 4 to it, and boom, it takes you to Darius Suicide 4, which you can see for 1,000 naira. You can see. So I did these books in such a way that at least okay, you go man, you will be able to buy one and read and enjoy. And I said this is the best thing you also want to read going into the election season. So, and now for Theory Suicide Book 5, by now you should have known how you get it. You just press 5. That is seller.co/Theory Suicide 5. And it would take you to boom. Just like that. I enjoyed the uh, I did a video for 5. When I made a video, a personal a recording, but that didn't come out well. Sorry about that. And 5 is titled Karma is a Bitch. Now, the ideal concept behind Karma is a Bitch is that the second relationship, the girl came back and she sent me because I was apologizing to her, when I was seeing how this third relationship was affecting me depressively, and it made me, and how she was breaking up with me, it made me realize how I treated the second relationship. And I started sending messages back to her, apologizing, begging again. You see everything in there, so I could find. So I started apologizing to her again, begging her, and it was in the process of that she now had to send me an email that she did not send previously, where she said karma is a female dog, and a female dog is a bitch. So I titled it Kama is a bitch. You can get it there. So now, for if you want to get the shirts, so instead of now typing numbers, you just say seller.co/Nigeria Society shirts with the plural S, and it will take you to the shirts. There are different colors there. I'm currently wearing the orange. There is the yellow, gray, purple. That's the back. White, red, blue. Yeah, you can see. So different colors, and you just have to find your way navigating around it. And because of the variants, I know we explained that these books are these shirts are according to the books. This is when suicide becomes the healing you need. Take my let me put myself back in the screen so that yeah, okay. So this is when suicide becomes the healing you need for book one. The other ones would can also be seen. Hmm, yeah. So the other ones can also be seen when you get them. Like now, orange for book one. I hope this is still showing. Okay, that's perfect. It's still showing. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not showing, but I can see it from here. So orange for book one, black for book two, blue, red, white for book three. I told you we didn't have shirt for book four, and book five, yellow, gray, purple. So when you click on any one and you click on add to cart, it will take you to where book is. Now, so it will take you to where to get anyone. Okay, so interestingly, the other book, like what I mentioned, the other shirts are for 5,000 naira. There are some that are for 5,000 naira, and there are some that is for 6,000 naira. So I think the three book one shirts and book three shirts are for 5,000 naira, while book five is for 6,000 naira. So you can see it. So any one you want, if it is the uh, yellow one or the gray or the purple, any one you want, just select it and you click on checkout, and to take you. If you are going to be adding shipping details for delivery in Lagos, is 3,000 naira. So you can see. So it's very easy and accessible. And if you don't want to pay the 3,000 naira, what will happen is that you can still click on it and your money will be refunded. Your 3,000 naira will be refunded. That's if you don't want it delivered to you. If you want to come and pick it yourself, your 3,000 naira will be refunded to you. Or you can send me a message. You can send me a message through my social media handle, which I have put there on the screen for you to see, and we'll communicate on how you can get the book. So let's go to um, book five. You can see it's been an interesting and wonderful 2 hours so far. If we drive round it up, let's go to five. I want to show you the uh, sorry, what am I doing? Hey, I sure knew I was clicking something else. So we're in the final book. We're in the final book titled Karma is a Bitch. The last act. Who lives, who dies, who survives, and at what cost. I'm not going to say much about this one because I'll leave it for you to go there and see what happened in 5. The only thing I will do, like I've been doing with the rest, is to show you the book so you can see it and know exactly what you'll be missing when you don't get the book. So just give me a moment. Okay, so sorry for that break in transmission, but I'm back, and like I said, I'm going to show you um, something you've been missing if you don't get Karma is a Bitch. Karma, 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 karma. Kamikaze on the control. Eh? So, Karma is a Bitch. The last act, who dies. Let me extend that part for you. So that, the last act, who dies, survives, and at what cost. So, with this, we brought the entire story to an end. An end. I'm going to show you the end, how I ended it. And I just love the graphics and effects of this. Yeah, we couched it the final cut of the entire story. And some beautiful things that would appeal to you. Now, for book 5, that was when we now have the final 10 chapters. Book 1 was 10 chapters, book 2, 7 chapters, book 3, 9 chapters, book 4, 9 chapters, and book 5, 10 chapters. Parts 36 to 45. Death, resurrection, code exchanges, excuses. Now, death in book 2, sorry, I said book 2. In book 2 and 3, I was sharing emails of my ex to me. Now, in book 5, 4 and 5 especially, I was now sharing text messages of myself to the third relationship. So you get. So it's evolving true to life something that will be seen as this relationship is happening, as this relationship is going, as the relationship is breaking. So parties. Where book 4 ended, it ended with Alia Iacta Est. And Alia Iacta Est means that the die has been cast. So 36 came in with death. 37 resurrection, code exchanges. I mean, you have to watch the book launch of Friday to get the full expository talk of what all the speakers talked about. I mean, I enjoyed that day because most of them really trashed me, especially Victoria. That's the person who spoke about code exchanges and karma is a bitch. She showed what I did, how it was wrong, how I had issues with not communicating my thoughts, intention, and desires to my partner that made her leave me, and at the same time, when I was supposed to excuse myself from the second relationship, since she had broken up with me and wanted to go her own way. No, not that she had broken up with me, I broke up with her, but since she had gotten over herself and gone her own way, I was supposed to leave her alone instead of still going to her faces and wanting her to reply my messages. So that's what we talked about. quest for answers was where I started going searching for why the third person broke up with me, and that's why I started going understanding that it was a temperament. I understood that temperament. I said that she was a flake. I was a melancholy and sanguine or choleric. No, melancholy and choleric. Although I have traits of sanguine in me. So, who exactly can I blame? I love that part too. That's why I started asking myself, who exactly can I blame for my behaviors, how I've been behaving that led to me messing things up and getting broken or breaking someone's heart. How do you handle your depression and the final curtain? So it is the final curtain that I want to take us to. Don't you love this picture? Eh? Don't you love this picture? This is part of Good Five Men. You can see how beautiful it is. So it's there are things that will appeal to you in the book, and the quality of the picture itself is so mad. So I want to scroll down to uh, final cut, how I ended it. Okay, before the final cut, break in transmission. Yeah, in break in transmission, that's where we got to understand um, what makes a woman leave a man and how a man is to handle it. There's many messages there, but the one I want to read is the one concerning Jumoke. Let me see if I got it. If it's not here, oh, sorry, I can't find it. But it's there in the book. It is there. It's supposed to be there in the book. It's supposed to be. Yes, because I just knew that it's okay. So now, this is Jumoke Oriyomi talking. She said, well, before any breakup happens, the breaker has already and thought and didn't see any way except to break the relationship. Meaning before the girl tells you, she's already decided on that being her next point of action. To the guy, I don't exactly know what to say, but I'll say this. If the reasons she gave are valid and you reflect on them well enough, you'll see she was right in breaking up. Respecting her decision despite your confusion is the more mature thing to do. And honestly, if a girl was really in love with you, you will know. She left because she chose herself over her love for you because you fell short in some ways. Respect that, work on yourself, move on. So that's essentially it concerning um, terrorist suicide 5 titled Karma is a breach. So you would see that there are different interesting parts in the book that makes you understand suicide in itself. Uh, yeah, the end. That makes you understand suicide in itself. There was the epilogue in it, and what again? In the epilogue, and I went back to talk about what how the whole there was a prologue. There was a prologue. I mentioned how I started being suicidal and how I had to leave Facebook, social media, and all those kind of things. Then in the epilogue, I now talk about what made me do those things that I did. I mean, it's just a beautiful read, and I made mention how the issues I had with my father affected me, how I wanted to leave the house because he wanted to send me out of the house and all that. Aww. So I had to show the dedication again and talk about some other things and give a long dose of acknowledgement. Yeah, I need to show you something concerning the acknowledgement because I said I'm going to be now. Can you see where I'm reading this side. I said I'm going to be real and factual with this acknowledgement. It's going to be a complete diss track. It might unleash all of the pettiness in me and adorn myself in its beauty. I don't abide by rules. I fuck up with every chance I get. You know that already. So here's another chance for me to do more. Think of Trump, think of Babangida, think of Machiavelli, think of Magidi. So that's where I talked about acknowledgements and every other thing concerning the dearest suicide series. A beautiful end to the book, a beautiful end to the story, and where I ended the story in itself. Yes, I need to talk about that. I need to talk about that. How I ended the story itself. So I said suicide is still considered to be an honorable option for a difficult life. However, would I have been able to write to you through this piece of my Haggadah expressions if I had committed suicide during my time of crisis? Your guess is as good as mine. But that's just for now. You may still wake up tomorrow morning and hear that I've died by suicide. So, interesting story, interesting book, interesting series of events, different things that comes about with the book that makes life a whole lot interesting for each and every one of us. So there you have it, the entire five books that I said we're going to be sharing with us tonight. So Dear Society are available for sale on Seller and Amazon as I showed you. Just go to paychap.me. Yes, I need to show you that also. I need to show you that on the screen. Go to paychap.me. Paychap.me. I can even share the screen, my screen with you on that, just like I did to other uh, this thing, so that you see how to click on the paychap.me. So you just type paychap, yeah, dot miss forward slash Bagidi, and you can see to take you. Yeah, I've not updated what is there. I'll still do that. I'm trying to understand why what I'm sharing on the screen isn't showing. Sorry, just give me a minute to understand what exactly is going. Okay, beautiful. So when you go to paychap.me, you're going to see, yeah. Yes, I also talked there. I appeared on TVC in the month of September. That was during the World Suicide Prevention Day, and I'm going to appear on TVC again this year. Inshallah, by God's grace. So that's where you can see where you can get each and every one. So pagechat.me / there's you can also get newsletters concerning things I write and talk about. So if you're interested in the getting the Dairy Society shirt, it goes for 6,000 naira, as I said. It goes for 6,000 naira on the site. So I'm trying to show you some things. So, and my details are there. If you want to connect with me, Facebook, just go to type Pagidi on Facebook. On Instagram, type Pagidi with the underscore in front. On Twitter, type Pagidi to come out, and get to see everything about me there. You can also head ahead, and you can also head over to my official WhatsApp group and join Pagide Expressions by clicking on the link. There's a link concerning that, so that will be showing on the screen. Or you can go to my mini blog, which is the page app, www.pageapp.me /KRS Pagidi, where all the links, both the seller, the Amazon, the DRS shirt, everything is on PageApp, and you see all the links there, which can be accessed with one single click. If you want to have speaking engagements with me or private session, you want to invite me to your book launch, you want to invite me for a session, a program, either online or in person, private sessions, related bookings, go to Pagidi Expressions at gmail.com. Pagidi Expression, that's my email address. Or you send a message to my WhatsApp line, which is w https //wa.me +2349136261020, and you're going to have a chat with me. So if you haven't read about the May 12th, September 12th, December 12th, February 12th editions of Dairy Society, this is a perfect time to get them when you go to www.seller.co /m./Agidi Expressions, or https amazon.com /author /Agidi Expressions. And like I said, all these can be accessed when you click on pagechat.me. So just like Book 5 of Karma is a Bitch, all other books contains never before seen experiences and personal stories based on contextual cases about the realities of society. And please, after purchasing, kindly leave a review and give me a 5-star rating. Thank you so much in advance when you do that. Leave a review and give me a 5-star rating. So what next after Dairy Society? What next after Dairy Society? Wow, I don't know. I don't know what next after the society. But what is going to happen from now is that I know I'm not going to write a book, at least for the rest of this year. I want to rest. I've had a very, very long year that started last year, you know, so I want to rest. Maybe from next year, I can now think of um, what next after theory society. But be that as it may, I'll still be having programs, I'll still be having engagement. For example, I have a book launch. So I was invited to a book launch in June, which I'm going to be attending. It's an online event, not a physical, so I'm going to share the flyers with you as time goes on. At the same time, I'll be having programs in June concerning what's next after their society. We're talking about sex, we're talking about family, we're talking about my writings again. I'll be bringing on different guests, just like we had during the April edition where we specifically talked about mental health. But this time around, we're talking about what next for Bagidi after direct suicide. And that is that about that. So thank you everyone for your support and participation. To everyone whose name featured on the reactions page or went a step further by actually giving a review to this series. Thank you so much. I offer my sincerest gratitude to you. It's been an incredible journey, and saying what you said about Jerry Suicide made those opening pages all the more beautiful. And I look forward to sharing more stories with you and having a collaboration alongside in the future. A special thanks goes to all Pagida Expressions Group members who have been the constant hub for all of my gossips and rants about my ex, about my family, about the books I write, about my loss of job, about getting a new job, and all that. Thank you for listening to me, for having me, for encouraging me, for giving me feedbacks, for ensuring and reposting all of my links. I'm so grateful. And for all of the other shenanigans throughout the entire writing process, your thoughts, critiques, and jabs have helped me shape this series into what it is today. So this session has finally come to an end, and I cannot but thank you so much for your time and opportunity you gave me to be able to share this with you. And as you agree with me, programs are good, but the audience is what makes a good program very, very interesting. So thank you everyone for sticking around with me this evening, and to have a pleasant Monday and the rest of the week ahead. And from me, I'll be saying goodbye, but I want you to watch this video as I call it a close from here. So bye bye and see you another time.
Woke up in London yesterday, found myself in the city near Piccadilly. Don't really know how I got here. I got some pictures on my phone, new names and numbers that I don't know. Address to places like Abbey Road, day plans tonight, night turns to whatever we want. We're young enough to say, oh, this has gotta be a good life. This has gotta be a good life. This could really be a good life, good life. I say, oh, this feeling that you can't fight. The city is on fire tonight. This could really be a good life, a good, good life. To my friends in New York, I say, hey. Woke up in London yesterday, found myself in the city near Piccadilly. Don't really